Hey man, you don't mind if I play through, do you?
Sure can. Welcome to Playing Through.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Playing Through, sponsored by Move Faster Golf. We have a very special guest today, the original MFer.
The original MFer.
The original, Mr. Gary Carter. Welcome,
Carter.
Gary.
That's right. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Well, first of all, Gary, I want to ask you, we're going to get right into what brought you into the game of golf and how did you get started and when did you get started exactly?
Well, I started playing in 1990, and I was looking for something to do besides play basketball because that was done.
Sure.
And so I thought about playing tennis, and I said, well, if you play tennis, you need somebody to play with. So then I said, well, I'll get some golf clubs. I didn't know a soul that played golf. Nobody I knew played golf. So I got some golf clubs, and that was the beginning.
Wow. So 1990. So literally, and you were how old?
28, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And my first golf teacher was Blockbuster videos. I rented every video that they had at Blockbuster.
So can you imagine in this day and age if you just started with YouTube?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't leave the house.
Right, yeah. I'd have saved some money.
Right, exactly.
He'd run outside, chip and putt a little bit, run back in, watch another video, run back out.
So obviously say he's hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Gary, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Keith has brought this up to me. What is the whole idea with the numbers on the golf ball?
Okay, so every year, so I've been playing since 1990, and this is the 34th year that I've been still trying to learn how to play golf. So now this year, the number's 34. Yeah, still learning, still trying.
So when I first started playing you, that number was like 25.
Right.
Next year was 26.
Yeah.
Next year was 27.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, hey, let's talk about something a little bit serious here, and then we can have a little bit more fun here at the end of it. How about you talk to us a little bit about the Golf for Africa initiative, Gary? You know how what got you into it, and what really drives you in and to doing that and propagating into it.
Well, it all started here in Midland when we had the first Great Lakes Bay Invitational, now known as the Dow Championship, and I decided to play in the Pro-Am. And the two ladies I was paired with that year was Kendall Dye and Christy McPherson, and they were both ambassadors for Golf for Africa, so they the ones who introduced me to it. And what it is, it's an organization that was founded by Betsy King, LPGA Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And so she started this charity to raise money to build water wells in Africa, because I think she took a trip to Africa and noticed that there was a big need for clean water.
Yep.
And so that's how it all began. And when I first heard about it, you think about the things that we take for granted, like water.
Sure. Yeah, right.
And you find out there's people in the world who don't have clean water access to it. And that's what kind of got me hooked on it.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been pretty good.
So do they actually have like probably different sponsorship tournaments and everything that's got involved
they
with?
do. They have they usually have 3 or 4 Pro-Am events a year where they have some LPGA ladies come play in the Pro-Am. And I think, if you're interested, go to the website, Golf for Africa, FORE, and make a donation if it touches you too. But yeah, it's a great thing.
That's cool. When we come out, we'll actually drop a link in there too for Golf for Africa.
Yeah, we'll put that in the link.
I've looked into it too. It's super cool. Obviously, you've been involved now a few years. That's awesome. I mean, just anything like that is super. I mean, you do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Take a look at the website. Great initiative.
So that kind of leads us into the next question. You just mentioned GLBI, and now it's called the Dow Championship.
Yeah.
So you actually, and I've played with you here a few years ago in the Pro-Am.
Right.
You actually just sponsor young ladies. I mean, you stopped playing yourself also, and you just sponsor young ladies to come play, and that you get from different tournaments, some minorities, you name it. What choice did you make for that, and how did that come about?
Well, I started the same thing when the Dow Championship first came about. And I've always wanted to play in a Pro-Am with touring professionals. Yeah. I never had done it. And all of a sudden, here's one in my backyard.
Yeah.
And so as I was thinking about who to invite, it just crossed my mind, maybe I'd get some juniors who probably never had the opportunity to do something like this and come play with some of their idols.
Yep.
So the first year, I recruited some kids from Houston, my hometown, and had them come up and play. And they had a great time and enjoyed
cool.
And every year, I just tried to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you've been down to tournaments, even local tournaments, like in Frankenmuth or something. What was that called exactly? What was it, John Shippen or something?
Yeah, actually, it's in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
So the John Shippen is they put on tournaments to try to help minority golfers get involved in golf and get them some exposure in professional tournaments. And each year, Dow allows a couple of exemptions to go to some of the John Shippen winners.
Okay.
And so I usually go down to the tournament to watch that, to support those ladies, to see who's going to win to come out and play in the Dow.
which is awesome. I mean,
Awesome.
you sponsor those girls, and they come out, like you said, for once in a lifetime experience.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
so. I mean, that's awesome. I've played with Gary here about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And that was cool. And ever since we come back and see the girls playing, it's just cool. And you got the parents come.
Oh,
everything
it's
else.
great. Yeah.
It's a pretty cool week. It's always fun.
And again, like you said, it's an opportunity to play with some of their idols. I mean, people that could influence them to really get into golf and
Right.
and make it a long part of their life.
Exactly.
So yeah, great. Well, I guess I know what my favorite buddy trip is, but I want to ask you guys. What would you, Gary, think? What was your favorite buddy trip? Now I'm just going to tell you mine. So you've heard, Keith and I talk a little bit about going to Scotland here back 2018. Met Keith in that. Well, I also met Gary on that trip. So that by far was probably one of my favorite trips.
Legend status for Dino.
Legend.
That's the best trip he's ever been on. Because I mean, look at what he got.
I mean, look what I get out of it.
I didn't realize it had been that long ago.
But I would say for me, that was probably my favorite trip. And again, we were out there for 2 weeks and played a lot of phenomenal places. And so what, Gary, what would you think is your favorite buddy trip? No, I mean, you can leave mine out. I understand, but that this one's the number one.
Really, my favorite trip is the one I'm on at that time. But
Perfect.
but the one I take with you guys are fantastic. I look forward to each and every one of them. Yeah. So all of them are great.
Yeah.
So literally, I mean, we always kid around. Like one of our friends actually has a nickname for Gary, America's Guest, because if we're doing any type of golf trip, or whether it's a day or 2 days or a week, we just know Gary's, and we don't even have to. We just put him on the list, and we just tell him when.
That's all I need to know. Just tell me when I'm
We
there.
don't ask him if he's playing. We just tell him, hey, this is the date we're playing this. Oh, okay.
I'll be there.
Oh, yeah, and always one of the fan favorites. We've met more people because of Gary Carter than anyone I know on golf trips.
So Dino has a story that I don't know he's asking me about, but I wasn't there because I had to leave early on that trip. About a certain round you had at Prestwick. What was that about?
Yeah. One of my favorites. Gary comes off the golf course and talks about this round, and so I'm gonna let Gary take it from here because it's so much better when he tells it to us.
Well, we were playing at Prestwick, one of the greatest golf courses in the world, and I guess I had one of the greatest days that I've ever had, along with one of the worst days that I've ever had.
Imagine that golf.
Hey, I refer to it as my Ray round. I played some holes like Ray Floyd and some like Ray Charles.
So
But when the round was over, Dino walks up and asks me how did I play. I said, "Oh, I had 5 birdies and an eagle." And he gets this look on his face.
What'd you shoot?
What's your shoot? 84. How was that possible? I had to play the other hole. Yeah, so that's probably my best round and worst round ever.
It was at Muirfield, and I was having just an absolute horrid day. And I remember Gary, I'm on one side of the fairway in Heathergrass. He's over on the other side of the fairway in Heathergrass. And we kind of come back and meet, and the thing that cheered me up, Gary says, it's 75 or 105. It don't matter, baby.
We had Murphyfield.
I think when it comes to Gary's game, I don't know how many rounds we had played before that, plenty, but we played in so much wind in Scotland. And it was like, that's when we found out Gary Carter was the best wind player we've ever played. Literally. So Gary got a case of the Hazel rockets. Well, all of a sudden he's frustrated as hell. So he goes out there, he's just grinding on the range 2-3 days in a row. And we just sit back and watch him just flush every single shot.
Yep.
And I still remember you just flushing on the range on the one course. I can't remember which one. The very first hole,
know what you're talking-
hit a nice little drive right rough. First shot, trying to flight it in the wind. Sideways. Sideways shank. And you just looked at me and you're like, God damn. I was like, hey, we can't do nothing. So what's the game like these days?
You just described it.
Yeah, probably.
I tell everybody, hey, I got a buddy named Keith. He says I'm the worst wind player he's ever seen.
It is. It's true. So Gary also, I mean, he's a master at buddies trips, so he's going to go in. We know he's in.
Yeah.
Gary is also probably behind a close second in training aids. So we want to know about any new training aids. What's kind of the new thing? What we working on?
Well, let's see. Since you asked, I probably
Oh boy, we got a bag.
let's
full.
see.
Oh no.
We had a Pro Center. This might be the
what
latest
is that?
one, bro. I don't really know, but they tell me if you strap it on your wrist, you strap it on, and if you get your wrist set in there, that's how you're supposed to set that club. You know,
Okay,
so I
yeah.
try all these things. I have them all. I haven't got to that point yet. We on step one.
Okay, gotcha.
But they tell me at some point you can attach this here, and then I don't know. You know, maybe you tell me. But hey, I mean, I have them all. Whatever you need. You know, well, let's see. We have hack motion somewhere around
Yeah, right.
here.
I've messed with hack
I mean,
motion.
all
That's
kind of
pretty
things.
sweet.
I don't know. Let me see. We just dump it out. Yeah, that's one watch. I'm not even
Try
going
to
to
watch
the hack
that beat.
motion.
Oh, okay, I do like that. Hack motion is actually a wrist thing that goes with the wrist brake. That'd be good for you when we first started out.
D-Wiz Golf. Now,
What
here's
is
a
that
quick
exactly?
story. We tried this one time, you recall, and I kept saying this thing doesn't work.
Okay.
Because it kind of measures your takeaway and where you move the club.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the story.
And
Yeah.
so we were using, I kept jumping.
So here's the premise of the story. It measures that if you take your club back on a certain path, going underneath and shallower of that path,
Right.
it measures it. But you couldn't get it to
I
work and
was
go
working
underneath. You're like,
very
it didn't
hard
work.
to go under. And I was like, I know I'm going under. I said, this thing doesn't work. No way. Keith puts it on in one shot. Oh, yeah, it works. It works just fine.
I did. Because you told me about the one pro down there.
Yeah.
It worked. So when I strapped it in, we were actually in the simulator room. I strapped it in, hit a couple shots. Oh yeah, Chris Jew was here.
Right, Chris Drew was here that day.
Both of us
He
got
put
it
it on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, swinging under the plane. Me, straight over the top.
Oh boy.
Gary, some of us got to play on the other side of that line. You got to be over the top of it.
Well, I
we
told
have to do it, buddy.
On the drive-in, I was telling you, I think we should design a golf course. Trees and water left, no OB right, we're just fine.
Wide open, no OB on the right.
So a funny story. I was going to tell the story. Gary, I mean, we played a lot of golf, worked on swings together, you name it. Back range at Curry, down at the country club, and whatever. So we were actually one of Gary's problems. And one of the things he hates in the swing is he gets to the top of the swing, and he just has a little bit of a lunge forward, almost kind of just that little move forward, and then he comes down and he's got a little soft left arm. Like everybody hates that chicken wing look. Everybody hates it on camera, the look, and sometimes it ain't bad. But so we're down at the country club, down in the camera set up, and we're just grinding, and we're like getting him up to the top and trying to really feel like he's staying back and just like almost hanging back and just really has extension. He made the best looking swing. I mean, we were working on literally stayed back, stayed behind the line, super extension, no soft left arm, the best swing I've ever seen him make. But one problem.
Missed the entire ball. Did not make contact at all.
Whiffed it. Almost knocked the ball off with wind. It was just woof.
But it was the best looking swing
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever seen on video. Like, wow.
It's in there. It is in there. We have grinded so much over. I mean, we've had so many goofy stories over the years and buddy trips and everything.
Oh, my
It's just
gosh.
it's been nuts.
Nothing better. They're always the greatest.
Nothing better than a buddy trip.
No. And the positive, we have a date for our buddy trip this year out. That's even better. It's something to look forward to, even though we're still in the doldrums of winter.
So as far as this year, Gary, like in the Dow Championship, actually the Dow Championship got moved. Obviously, they got moved up date wise, and they changed the name from GLBI to the Dow Championship.
Right.
But it's in June. Still same thing. You got anybody kind of picked out? You can do the same thing with trying to get some
Yeah,
young
that's what
girls.
we're planning to do the same thing. Try to find 4 young juniors to come play. Have my eyes on a few, so I'm quite
Okay,
sure we'll
cool.
get a team together.
Yep. Well, you have to let us know.
If you need an expert caddy,
All right,
here's your boy right here. You know me and my green read, buddy.
let's do it.
Hey, I think that's going to left. No, that's going right.
No, your other left. Yeah.
Yeah, the other left. Yeah. Like, what was that? The caddy. Who did you do that to this year on our buddy trip? Hey, do you see that thing going to the left? Yeah, I see it going left. You're wrong. It's going right. The caddy does it too. You're wrong. It's going right.
We've got so many stories like
Oh
that.
boy.
Well, we wanted to get Gary on here, just kind of
Yeah.
kind of laugh and just kind of talk about a couple of his initiatives, like the Golf for Africa thing. We'll actually throw a link in that when
Yep.
we put this out.
Definitely.
And actually, the Dow Championship this year, when we'll be back there. Dino and I will be involved. We'll be involved with you, and
Yep.
That'd
we'll
be
look
great.
forward to see
Yeah,
whatever
be
girls
great.
you have coming.
One of my favorite times of the year. My best week.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So don't forget us.
Yeah, don't forget us.
Come on, I can't.
All right, kids. Well, that's it. Just a fun one today. Just kind of simple stuff. Gary Carter, the original MF.
The original MFer.
That's right. Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Remember, MFers, get on there. Like, subscribe, share this with all your friends.
Okay. Well, let's talk to you guys. See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for sticking around and hearing what we had to blab about here at Playing Through.
And remember, if you want to become an official MFer, please like and subscribe.